Let's get ready to assemble.
So they have these doohickeys here that came with the drawer system. Oh. It allows you to do something fun. Okay, here's where we're at. The drawer boxes come with instructions. I'm really concerned you guys can't see anything. They're going to tell you how this all goes together, be it the top drawer, the middle drawer, the bottom. They don't call it top, bottom, or middle. They call it low, medium, and high. Totally backwards. Okay, the reason why they call it low is because it's a smaller drawer height, smaller drawer face height. So let's fast forward. This is why you guys pay me so much money. Give you the easy button. All right, and the instructions are going to be like 1, 2, 3, and they got a weird configuration. Just know that there is a space in the front. These are 5mm holes, and they have special screws. They look like this. There's 1 and 2 on each one, okay? We're going to take our drawer box. It rides back. It engages as it should. I'm not sure exactly what adjustments. This has got plenty of adjustability. I'm not sure. I'm used to the Blue Motion stuff. And you got these little route outs, okay? It's really obvious that these guys, one will go here, one will go here. How these cabinets come together is I have a panel that goes here, and then I need an 1/8 of an inch space. Over here, there's another cabinet, so I need a 1/16 of an inch space here, and then another 1/16 of an inch to give me my 1/8 inch margin between the doors and drawer faces. Okay, so when I hold this has got a little bit of movement here. When I'm measuring this, I held it kind of in the center. So if I need to adjust it a little bit, I can. Same thing with this. So I measured from the top, subtract 1/8 of an inch, and I got my 2 and 7/16, 3 and 3/16, 3 and 15/16. That's after I considered my 1/8 of an inch margin at the top, which I got to have. Then I considered my 1/8 of an inch margin on the side, and I came with 1 inch and 7/16, and I pulled my tape over, and I went to 1 inch and 3/8 heavy. Then I decided to make a jig. The reason why I want to do that is because I want the drill bit to go straight down. Boom. Not kind of off at a weird angle. I want it to go straight down. So I did it with my drill press. All right, then I was off by just a hair. And if you look close, you can kind of see that I took this dowel rod, because I just had it. I'm so lucky. And I filled the hole with super glue. And just so you guys know, if you didn't have the hardener and you're in a hurry like I always am, you can use baking soda. Carol loaned me some in the kitchen. She doesn't know it yet. Threw that on there. I made sure that it was, both sides, and it was nice and wet. And I threw that on there, and it dried instantly. Something sodium bicarbonate or something like that is the active ingredient. At the store, she was like, you don't have to use our little dicky little brackets. You can just make your own holes. And I'm like, yeah, but then there's going to be a hole there. I might as well take the time to make my own little jig. Set that there. Set that there. So how that looks, bam, 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 bam. Get all my screws here. Okay, so I fasten these to my jig. All right. That lines up in there. That's awesome. Grab the bottoms here. Everyone knows that. That's how you disengage the drawer. It's this little guy here on both sides. And when you pull them, it deactivates the drawer slide. Deactivate. The backside of the drawer is notched out to go around that. See how it's notched out way back here? Boom, boom. And then push it back and it engages. Really nice. And that drawer face is on, though this is just a jig. This is the temporary one. I like to do it like this. I go 1, 2, 3, 4 holes, 3/16 of an inch. I use an inch and an eighth pan head screw. And then if it's slightly off, I can loosen them up and I can take the drawer face like that. I make a commitment that on the right side, left side, just 2 screws, and then tighten them up. And if I'm good, cool. If I'm out of the range of adjustability, then I'll go to the next screws and try to get a little closer. I'll do that with a clamp. You know, it's a little testy, but this is cool too because it's got all sorts of range of adjustability on the underside of this drawer box. So maybe that makes it super duper. All right, now what I got to do is, whoa, I'm going to pull these off and I'm going to use my jig. This is my jig. You know, I got to lay my my drawer faces down. This is a soft packaging protection. I'll tell you what, it's kind of hard. It doesn't want to part with itself. They make these perforations. They don't really work. Anyway, so this stuff, we call this Ambisol, the ointment for babies. Obviously, since I just put the finished face down, I want it onto nice and clean packaging like Ambisol. Cool thing about Ambisol, it's less likely to stick to finished products, so they don't stick together. I need to go, I'm going to put my marking tape on there, and it needs to be at least, that tape is going to be just slightly above that screw, just a little bit. Certainly don't want to drill through the face of my drawer face. That would be bad. All right, it's pretty good. All right, and as long as we're less than 3/4 of an inch, we should be in good shape. Tell you what though, it's within 1/8 of an inch, so we're going to be really careful. All right, it's so simple to make a mistake right now, for me anyway. Easy enough. Now take these guys. This guy's gonna come over here. This guy's gonna come over here. Luckily for me, I had a 5mm drill bit. It's meant for shelf pin holes, and these work with shelf pin holes. Wrong screw. Wrong hole. Now, we're going to take this drawer face, and we're going to take it over to the scene of the crime. So it was a little bit tight for some reason. This is pretty time-consuming stuff. Oh, baby. Turned out pretty cool, all right? So I want this to go that way a little bit. Seems to be pretty okay. Not sure what these adjustments do. I would assume that these forward ones, what do they do? It's hard to tell, really. It does keep creeping up, like almost tight, like I'm losing my 1/8 inch margin at the top. But not on this side. Gotta keep an eye on these guys because they got all these fascinating adjustability points, but they may have put so much work into it, it's taken away the adjustability. Oh, all right, that raised it up. Wow, there's lots of turns here. Almost nothing's happening. It seems to keep wanting to creep up, but it doesn't want to come back down? That I don't understand. This one here, I'm thoroughly confused. Oh, that definitely raises it up. But again, doesn't seem to want to bring it back down. When I move this thing travels. And I remember this from the Blue Motion hardware. This has got a sharp knife edge where it kind of ramps it up. This here, you can see, this will push it left and right. You'll have to operate both of these at the same time. This little guy here, look real close. Look what's happening. That's got this little tag that comes back and forth like that. That's a lot going on. It gives you about 1/8 of an inch of difference. Maybe I didn't have the drawer engaged all the way. We'll have to play around with that. Okay, so I found door G, which is for this cabinet. Of course, it was at the bottom of the pile. And now I can label it inside the cup. This is awesome. I'm going to screw these onto the door. The way that I go about screwing them onto the door, I just put a straight edge on them. When that's tight and that's tight, then they're in line with one another. Pretty simple. Get it? So then what I do is I hold that straight edge nice and tight, and then I go in here. I'm going to put these in place, the base plates. And then I'll use these same 5/8 by 6, and they're actually hinge screws. They're meant for this. I'm going to clamp a little wee block underneath this because these doors are supposed to be flush with the bottom of the cabinet. Oh, and obviously that door needs to, or the drawer face needs to travel up. Oh, quite a bit too. All right, and I know how to do that. Huh, that's easy enough. What I don't know is how deep this is supposed to go. So I need to measure that right now. So we have the door on, like a moron, okay? They call out for a 5-inch drawer face, and which is fine. I decided to take that down from 5 inches to 4 7/8 plus the thickness of 2 pieces of edge banding, giving me a 4 15/16. So slightly 1/16 of an inch smaller than what they call out. Okay, but here's the problem. I have my 1/8 inch margin. It's actually, it's out of adjustment, so it's about a 1/16 of an inch heavy. And, you know, about an 1/8 of an inch. This runs down to about a 1/16. Everything's kind of out of, nothing's really right yet. I'm happy with the sizes. What I'm not happy with is, oh no, where they have mounted this drawer glide. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that drawer glide is what? Let's call that, because I got this funny little lip here, right? And that's just going to hit your door, right? So that's like 5/16 of an inch. So what does that mean? It's start over time. Yeah. Okay, not that huge of a deal. So this drawer glide has got to travel up into space. And in the drawer box will too. Well, there's plenty. This will open like this as long as your door is open. But you got like 3/4 of an inch of space up here. So it's fine. This whole thing can travel up, 1/2 inch if you wanted it to. But that limits the amount of, garbage you can put in here that exceed the top of this. So my biggest complaint is their drilling doesn't coincide with. I mean, that's going to be a problem. I don't know how many customers are going to have that problem. Maybe their doors and drawer faces are different sizes, but
Hang on there, Clark. Couldn't you have used the set of screw holes below the set you used? That would have raised the drawer slide up to its proper location too.
now I'm going to take the drawer slides out. I'm going to cut a piece of plywood that goes from the bottom. It's going to sit down here at the bottom and go up to that top. Plus, whatever this distance is, I'm going to add, let's just say 3/8 of an inch.
Yeah, okay, let's move on. You screwed up and we need to get on to what's next.
So these are a little tight in the corner. Getting a screw gun in there is pretty tough. They may have purposely wanted you to do that by hand. Almost like they have a craftsman on their engineering team to work out some of these little details, like prevent the user from putting their screw gun in there and stripping out the threads or something. They might be going too fast, and that's good stuff.
It could be that, but it could be because some drawer faces have stiles, rails, and center panels. If those screws were closer to the center, they'd go through the center panel.
These are going to be on touch latches, so you just touch them and then they pop open. But I don't like what holds it closed. So I'm going to go back and swap out the bottom hinge of all of these with a self-closing, soft close hinge. The spacing and the machining is the same. I don't want these doors to always be like, it doesn't make sense. And the touch latch that I have selected does not have a magnet. They used to always come with a magnet, and now they don't come with a magnet, so what holds the door shut? But they do push it out far enough to surpass that functionality. A lot of times when I'm running these hinges, if it's a solid wood door, you can split the wood if you don't use like a Vicks bit or something, pre-drill it. When I'm doing a bunch of doors, putting all the hinges, I've had these up like a stack this high, and I use the door slab, I'll use the door above it to keep my hinge straight. See how this door keeps this hinge straight and not flopping around like a canoe in a crazy river? You see how there's no crazy river happening? That's good. All right, so this is the last cabinet that I'm gonna outfit today. Notice there's no plastic legs, the cabinet that I made my toe kick for. This is an upper wall cabinet. It's important as I outfit this that this cabinet, it could be upside down or right side up, and it's universal. I'm gonna write up on it. That way, as I put my doors on, I have an H door and an I door. I don't want to flip this around in the field, and then I go to put my doors on. I'm like, oh shoot, and I'll have to rerun my base plates. What am I doing? I'm edge banding. Yeah, this is what we call a screw up. Nobody likes screw ups. Nobody likes mistakes. I'm gonna go on YouTube and be like, oh my God, I made a mistake. I'm gonna be the laugh of the town. They're gonna drum me out of the town. But I made a mistake, and I'm edge banding. So here's what happened. I got a 30-inch cabinet. It's 30 inches wide, and I have an 1/8 of an inch margin on the left, 1/8 of an inch margin on the right, 1/8 of an inch between them. So each door is 15, the other door is 15. Minus 3/16. That's 14 and 13/16. I cut these at 14 and 15/16. Each door is an 1/8 of an inch too big. Cut it, edge band it, and do a nice, neat job. I'm applying some just readily available finish. I'm not gonna, respray the door and all that. So here's where you go from, yeah, I'm human, I make mistakes. What am I gonna do to, get those mistakes in check? I had no plan on bringing my iron and edge banding up to this project in Manistee. So while I'm outfitting all of this stuff here at the shop, I have everything at my disposal. So the pre-assembly, that's when you're gonna find your mistakes, because they happen. There's no getting around it. They absolutely happen. And I can do something about it here. Let's just say I've done numerous jobs and installed for companies that do not pre-assemble. And it's a huge mistake, a huge no-no. Because when you're outfitting all of your doors and drawers and drawer faces in the field and you find those mistakes, you're gonna take this finished product for a little ride there and back, and then there. That's when you end up with scratches and oopsies and dropsies and all of that kind of jazz. You want to find those mistakes here. They will happen. I guarantee you. So long as my name is Scotty Karate, I'm going to make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. So just having a plan to get on top of that and get ahead of that, that's where it separates you from the rest. My dad used to tell me, if you're going to make a mistake, it will happen, but get on top of that mistake as fast as possible. Correct the mistake, double time. And I just took a calculated risk. I was really careful, and I got on top of that mistake real fast. You just try to have a plan and a plan of attack, because they're just gonna happen. They are definitely coming your way. I'm gonna grab a little polyurethane. I'm just gonna put a little bit on a rag and just touch up some stuff. Then there's another product that I'm gonna show you. If you don't have it in your kit, you should. So just for some excess finish, I ran some tape around the edges. I'm doing the back side. I got the face down onto a piece of ambisol, of course. Put a paper towel in here, and I'm just lightly applying it. Pretty simple. I used water-based Hellsman. It's indoor-outdoor spar urethane. Okay, so that's pretty simple. And I'm gonna go over the edges with this. This is Zenith. It's for all types of finishes, and comes a little weak-hand. I think you can do like a little search on this. Zenith works like magic, and it honestly it kind of does. Okay, so I'm gonna get the edges of this of the edge banding. And this is, you can use this for like scratches in finishes. I've used this in a couple of floor scratches, door scratches, you know, just whatever's got a minute little scratch in it. One thing that I'm worried about here is like where the file, you know, microscopically kind of, you know, went a little further than it should have. So this is my go-to trick. Tibet almond stick. Wipe out furniture and flooring scratches quick as a wink. And it honestly, it does. I think you can just do a Google search. I think that Ace Hardware carries it on their website. I could be wrong about that. You know, I mean, it looks good, dude. No scratch, no fuss, no muss. What is this material? I'm not really sure. It's like a really tightly wrapped up type of, I don't know, like gauze or something. It's just infused with some sort of a finish. I think it's the texture. It's the material that's wrapped up there. That's the kind of key ingredient. Whenever you're pulling masking tape off, have it tightly back on itself at an angle. That way you don't pull off any veneer or finish or whatever. I've seen guys do that. Old and new hardwood flooring finish. Okay, I know it's hard to pick up here on camera, but that was just quick, easy, no fuss, no muss. It was a quick repair, and I have no problem with that. It wouldn't bother me finding a little sanding block to just kind of touch up that little bottom corner. And I mean, it all looks good. I'm done. I'm gonna go and do the same exact thing right here. So that white line there, I just made it disappear at a wee angle. You cannot even tell that that's edge banding now. Done. It doesn't work for everything. I mean, it's not truly like, you know, David Copperfield magic. In this instance, that is the trick. That is that just made my, you know, oh crap, I made a huge mistake into a, oh, that was cool. Totally knocked it out of the park.
Stay safe, stay busy, and stay tuned for our next episode when we install this portion of cabinetry.
Done. Scribed. Scribed to the floor. It's awesome. I'm loving it.